Greetings of the day, dear students. Today we will continue with some more topic related to the chapter that is Internet Online Surfing. In this chapter, today we will cover the topic email, like how to create an email ID, what are the different features of email ID, and many more things. So let us start with electronic mail, that is email. Electronic mail is most commonly abbreviated as email. It is a method of exchanging digital messages. That is, these digital messages are also called electronic messages because when we are exchanging the data from one computer to another or from one network to another through World Wide Web, it is said it means that the messages are transferred between these two devices electronically. It is not transferred physically. When the messages were transferred physically, those days when we were using postal services. Through email, messages can be sent to any part of the world. You know that when you send a letter through postal services, you have to specify the destination address. That means you have to put the correct address so that the postal letter should get delivered to that correct address. Similarly, to send the messages electronically, you need the user's email ID. If you have the correct email ID, it will go to your message will go to that particular person. Okay, now we will see some different parts of an email ID. Like, it is important to know that each email address is unique. Now, why it is said that each email address is unique? Let me explain this. Like, whatever the email you have created or anybody has created, that cannot be created once again. Like, here one email ID is given on the screen, pandey.apc@google.com. Suppose if there is any email ID as such existing, you cannot create this email ID once again. It is not possible because already this email ID is owned by someone. There are number of websites which provide free email facilities like yahoo.com, gmail.com, hotmail.com, outlook.com, rediffmail.com, etc. etc. Now an email ID is composed of three parts. The first part is called the username, and the second part is the connector, that is the @ that a sign which is given in between, and the third part is the domain. Like here one example is given on the screen, pandey.apc. Now pandey.apc, that is the username of the person who has made the email. Now the username and the domain includes two things, that is the host and the site. Now host means the company who is giving you the service. Like we can make pandey.apc@yahoo.com. It could be pandey.apc@outlook.com. Now here whenever I am saying @yahoo.com, outlook.com, this Yahoo, Outlook, Google, Gmail, etc., all these are the host. Host means the company who is providing you the service. Now .com. Now .com means it is the type of email what you are using. As you know, com, it is for commercial. That means it is used for commercial purpose. Okay. Now Username, it username can be anything that you can choose, but internet, when you register yourself on internet, it will, the world wide web will check the username what you are putting, whether that username is existing or not already. If it is not existing, it will allow you to create that username. At the rate sign, it is always followed by a symbol. The username is always followed by a symbol that is called at the rate. Host means this is the name of the server. This is the name of the company which receives and sends email messages. Now the site, the extreme right hand side of an email address specifies the type of the site. .com is the type of the site. That means this mail is used for commercial purpose. Now advantages of email. It is one of the fastest ways of communication, where messages can be sent anywhere. Yes, suppose if you send an email right now to someone, it will take just a fraction of seconds or maybe a minute to deliver into the receiver's inbox. That means from when you are sending an email, it is necessary to know the person's email to whom you are sending. Your email is your address on World Wide Web, and to whom you are sending that particular email is that particular person's address on World Wide Web, or you can say on internet. It is very cheap as compared to other communication services. You just need to have an email ID and an internet connection. It is simple and very easy to use. It is not necessary that you have to be a computer expert. If you know a very simple things, if you know a very basic things of a computer, nowadays even many people are using these email services through mobile apps. Nowadays in Android mobile phones we have different types of email service providers, mobile apps for Gmail, for Rediff Mail, etc. There are so many companies, those who have given Android mobile apps. Emails are very efficient as they can send to a group of people simultaneously. Yes, one email can be sent to a group of people, to a number of people, to a mass people together. It is versatile in nature. You can send pictures along with text messages. Now when we say it is versatile, that means it can be used for multiple purposes. It is not that you can only send text messages. You can send pictures also, you can send videos also. That's why it is said that it is versatile in nature. Email can be sent at any time of the day or night throughout the year. Irrespective of the time, any time you can send the email, at midnight, in the early morning, at any time. Email allows you to encrypt messages that may help you to send confidential information. Encrypt messages means that you can put password to your content and you can send the data to someone, to some confidence. If there is something confidential, you can send the data to someone by encrypting it. That means by putting some password into the document. Now there are some disadvantages too. Disadvantages of email. Email require both the sender and the receiver to have an email address and access to a device or a computer that has an internet connection. If you have a computer, you have an email ID, and the person to whom you are sending, if that person is not having the email address, it is not possible to send the details or the documents or the text messages to that particular user. It can be time consuming when answering complicated questions. the telephone maybe is a better option for providing detailed answer. Sometime you need to write long emails, so that time it becomes little complicated when some people are not able to answer the question given in the emails. So that time it is preferred, some people prefer, if they are not able to do so, some people prefer to have a telephonic discussion to provide the detailed answer. Now we will see how to create an email ID using the platform of different email service providers. Now, as you can see on the screen, dear students, if you type in the browser Gmail www.gmail.com, this particular page comes, which is here on the screen. Now in this page it says that if you have an email ID, you put the email ID over here in the box where it is written email or phone, you can see. Then click on next. It will ask you to put the password. You put the correct password and your email will open. Now if you do not have an email ID, what you need to do, just down here you can see there is an option called create account. So go to create account. Now it will ask you certain things. Now let us say it is asking you first name and the last name of yours. Now you need to put an user ID. Now here just for an example we will do something. Just one example I am giving. Let us say I am putting Amit Kumar, and here I am putting Amit 2021. Now come to the password. Now here you can see when I wrote Amit 2021, Amit 2021, I was trying to create an email ID with amit2021@gmail.com, but the Gmail says that this username is taken by someone. That means if someone has created with this particular name the email ID, it is not possible to create that email ID once again. So what I will do, I will change it Amit Kumar 2021. Now let me see what it says. This also is taken by someone might have created. Let us say I will write 2021 Amit KR 2021. Let me see. Now this is also taken by someone. So what I will do, just say I will write something 2000 Amit KR DNS FRI. Now let me see. Now see here it says, because in the red letter, in the red sentence, it is not showing that this particular name is taken by anyone. That means we can go ahead with this username Amit KR DNS FRI. Now I need to put some password. So that password I will put something. This is the password I am going to put. Then I will click on next. Now here you see what are the details it is asking. Amit, welcome to Google. Now here it is asking the phone number. Now why this phone number they are asking? You should know, dear students, sometime when we forget our password, when we are unable to recall our password, that time Google sends an OTP to the phone number which we have given at the time of making the email ID. That's why we need to put a proper phone number. Google sends an OTP to the number we have provided at the time of given email ID, and to that phone number what happens, an OTP will come to recover the password, to reset the password. Same way, If you have any other email address, that also you can provide as a security. Then you need to put your date of birth, gender, and click on next, and the email will be created. Here I am not going to create the email, just I am showing you. What you need to do, go to gmail.com, down there is an option, it will come create account. You need to put your name, you need to put an unique user ID, you need to put a password, then click on next. Now the next is not working because I have to put the password once again, and in the second page it will ask a phone number. A phone number you must put. If you have any other email ID, that also you can put. If you do not have, you can skip that. And the date of birth and the gender, all these things you put and click on next, and your email ID is created. Same way in Yahoo also there is an option. Now this is the page of yahoomail.com. When I open yahoomail.com, here is the page. It says you put your user ID and click on next. When you click on next, again it will ask for the password, and you are into the inbox, you are into the email of yahoomail.com. Now if you do not have, here also there is an option called create an account. I clicked there. Same way here also it is asking, the way it was asking in gmail.com, first name, last name, create an email ID. Now here also if I put, let us say I am putting my name, let me see what it says. A Yahoo account already exists with this email address. That means dhn.sanjay is taken by someone. I cannot create an email ID with this name. So again here I need to put something which is not taken by anyone, dhn.sanjay 2021. Now this, with this particular user ID, with this particular name, I can go ahead by creating an email. Means this user ID I can use for my email ID. So now you come to know that how to create an email ID. Just you go to the email ID service provider's website. You will get an option called create account. There you need to put the relevant details what they are asking, and your email ID is created. Now students, when an email ID is created and when you log in with your email ID and the password, I am taking an example of gmail.com right now. It is common for all platforms, what I am going to say, that when you log in with your user ID and password in the email service provider's platform, what will happen, it will take you to the main page, it will take you to the service page of the email. Now in each and every email we have an inbox. Now inbox means whatever mails we are receiving from someone, you can see all the emails under inbox. Here all the emails are given. Whatever emails you can see over here, these comes under inbox. These are in my inbox. So these email I have received from some different companies, some my friends, etc., etc. Same way, there is an option called sent. Now here in sent, I do not have any email sent right now. So if you have sent any email to anyone, all your sent email, it will reflect here under sent tab. So now I will go to compose. So when you click on compose, here you can see there is an option called compose. So go to compose. Now when you click on compose, this particular page, this particular box comes where 2-3 options are given. Now here you can see at the top it is written 2, then it is written CC, then it is written BCC. Now I will explain all these 3 terms, why these terms are used. Now 2 means you can write an email over here, the email address of the person to whom you are sending the email. Let us say I am sending an email to someone, let us say dhn dot sanjay@yahoo.com. Okay, this is my email address. I am sending it to myself. Now here you can write the subject. Generally, when we send an email to someone, we write a subject in short, that for what purpose we are sending the email. Let us say I am sending one birthday invitation to one of my friends. So here I can write invitation, or you can write invitation for my birthday. Now subject I have written. Now down you can write the content. Dear friend. Okay, now here I am not going to type lots of things, just I am telling you. Here you can write the content of your email, whatever the content you want to write. Write dear friend, dear sir, whatever to whom you are addressing, it all depends. And write the content, then down we write that yours sincerely, thanking you, with regards, your lovingly. Okay. So many more suffix you can give down to the email part. So all these things, after writing, what we do, we click here on the tab that is written send. As you click on send, down to the left hand corner, you can see it is written message sent here. That means this message, whatever I have written, it has gone to dhn.sanjay. Now let me go to sent box again. Now here you can see one mail which I sent just now. Here you can see the time it is given, at what time it was sent. Now if you want to see more details, see who sent, to whom it is sent, at what time it is sent. So everything it is written over here. So here invitation for my birthday, my spelling it became MU, it should be MY, dear students, you all know. So kindly ignore this. Okay. Now same way, when again let me go to compose. In compose there are two more options. One is CC, another one is BCC. Now CC means carbon copy and BCC means blind carbon copy. Now if I am sending an email to someone by writing the email ID in the to box, I have written an email ID. Now the same email ID I want to send it to few more people. Okay, I will write their email ID over here. Now kindly assume these email IDs as a different email ID. Now let us say along with the email ID dhn.sanjay, I am sending the same email, the same content to three different people. Okay, so those three different people names we can write in carbon copy, that CC tab. So after writing, again you put the subject and again you put the content of the email and you send. Now this time what will happen? All these four people, those who are receiving the email, they will come to know that along with me to whom this particular mail is sent. Each and every person will be able to see that the content which is sent to me, along with me, to how many people this mail is sent, who are all those. But the same thing, if we write in BCC, let us say if I write in BCC blind carbon copy, what is going to happen? Just a minute, let me type few more. Yeah, now here I am using blind carbon copy, BCC option. Here The person whose email ID is there under BCC, they will not be able to see that along with me to how many people the email is sent. That's why it is called blind. That means each and every person will get that email ID as an individual. They will get the content, but they will not be able to find out that along with him or along with her to how many people to whom this particular email is sent. So when we want to send email this way, that time we use BCC option. But if you want to send the email through CC, if we write all the email IDs under CC, then what will happen? Each and every person will be able to see that along with me to how many people the email is sent. So I hope it is very clear what is to, what is CC and what is BCC, what is inbox, what is sent. Now whenever we delete any email, let us say I am going to delete these two emails. Just select the checkbox over here, then click on the delete button given at the top. Here it is. Now whatever here you can see two conversations moved to trash. Down here it is written to the left down corner. Now whatever the email you are deleting, there is an option in your email box, especially in Gmail, the name is given is trash. Trash is the recycle bin. Now these are the emails which you can see over here. These are the deleted emails. Just now I deleted the first two emails, so it came in the trash box. So whatever email you delete, these emails will come into the trash box. Now let me talk about one more, that is spam. Now what is spam? The unwanted email which is sent in bulk by some company or some individual. Now they might have got our email through some mode and they are sending, and now these emails are unknown to us. We have never sent an email to these people, and after they got our email ID, they through some platform they are sending these emails to a mass number of people. Generally these type of emails, it comes on spam. So generally we don't treat the spam email as a genuine email. It is there might be a rare of rarest cases where we can see that this particular email is a genuine email, but 99.99% of chances is there that these emails are not relevant to us. So what we can do, we can delete all these emails. Okay, so I hope the email part is clear. If there is any question, we will discuss in our online classes.